Last question, search engines and increasingly social media platforms prioritize what's popular, not what's necessarily most true or important to know. Does veracity stand a chance anymore?
Well, I have personal experience with that. So, yeah, it really sucks to Google me, so don't do it. But like I was like a
It's guaranteed that everybody's gonna Google you.
Well, I know, but so like in 2007, I was like caught up in this like media scandal, and I had a very minor role in it, but because I'm a female and I was like 24, it became this huge thing, and so like my first page of results is just like all this crazy stuff, and there's like I had a long-lost uncle who emailed me, like, asking for the birthday of my child. Well, I don't have any kids, but, like, this blogger, like, wrote this long thing, like, theorizing that I was pregnant, and, like, now that's on the internet forever. And there's no way to get rid of it. The best I can hope for is link rot. I was talking to another guy who is a libertarian cartoonist, and he made these cartoons. It's a fascinating case. He made these cartoons that, if you squint, they're like bordering on the edge of like anti-Semitic banking conspiracies, right? Like he imagines like the Federal Reserve, like the triangle from the dollar bill, right? And it says global banking elite, and they're like trampling on the people. So 4chan just put an anti-Semitic face on the pyramid, right? They make the subtext text. But they've ruined this man's life by making him look like he's a true anti-Semite. And the more he tried to get them to stop, the more they did it. So, like, if you Google him, what comes up is, like, pictures of him in a Nazi uniform, which are completely fake. Like, pictures of him, like with swastikas, like the most horrible, vile, racist images. And there's nothing he can do about it. He went to Reputation.com, like we've all heard the ads for that. They wanted to charge him $8,000 just to get the one Hitler picture taken down. So, like, what is someone supposed to do? Like, he's given up. Like, there's no way to fix it.
No. Yeah, so you can sort of troll people through their search results, as Dan Savage most famously did with Rick Santorum.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that's used for sort of good. I mean,
sometimes you can troll up.
Yeah, you can troll up. It's better to troll up than to troll down. I say never troll someone like that unless they already have a Wikipedia page. Otherwise, it's not fair.
Yeah, I think, and so I think the question is also sort of pointing at this, the filter bubble idea that what we kind of end up seeing what we want to see, because, you know, my Google search results aren't your Google search results.
Right.
And, you know, they've probably intuited my politics, and so I'm gonna see a different set of search results than somebody with different politics, as Google's guessing. They can make a pretty good guess. Your search history and your web history and your social networks, they give out your political orientation, sexual orientation. They can get it pretty close, and so I'm gonna likely see stuff that I already agree with. When I go to Facebook, the Facebook's algorithm is also going to give me things I also agree with. So I think there is some worry that maybe that is part of why we have a political conversation right now, where it's just two groups of people who don't even see the other group as even possible to have a conversation with. You know, we're wondering if, like, is it even possible to turn a Trump voter? Or is it just dug in? We're like, oh yeah, you're all just racist idiots, and yeah, they are just like, oh no, you're just like brainwashed by Washington D.C. and you're like politicians, like idiot, and like they're just just not ever gonna talk.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a fad on Tumblr for like fake conspiracy theories and fake fact books, and it'll have like a picture of like an adorable otter, and it'll say like, not many people know this, but like Abraham Lincoln kept 100 otters in the White House, and like that'll get reblogged like crazy and people still believe it. But I talked to people at Tumblr and they told me that like these kids have grown up like writing papers and Googling things and like finding a Wikipedia page and like the sourcing, and like it looks promising and then it's a scam, or like the one weird trick, which of course like doesn't work and is total quackery. Like they've grown up knowing that like truth is kind of an illusion. Like you're never gonna get the cold hard facts. Everything can be faked. You can even like Photoshop something. The kid who made this blog Animal Fact Book was like the victim of like of a hate campaign in which people photoshopped him saying, like, requesting nudes from girls. And, like, how do you disprove that? Because you can't un-Photoshop something. So I think the younger generation has grown up knowing that, like, everything on the internet is maybe a lie.
What about what's on the internet, what you search for, what you see on Twitter or Facebook being organized by popularity? So Facebook through an algorithm, or through Twitter through retweets, or the search engine ranking is Google's partly sorted by clicks.
Yeah.
Is that as popularity versus maybe what the editor thinks was most important? Is that like the front page in New York Times, like that was chosen by an editor, not everybody in the subway station upvoting and downvoting stories, right?
Yeah, it's interesting, and if you build your business model off their algorithm with one tweak, you're destroyed. But I've talked to a lot of kids who feel like there had been this period of opening for like wild social media creativity, like 2010 to 2014. But now it's very difficult to become known for your jokes or whatever if you don't already know a famous person. Like someone who's already reached the top has to pull you up there. There's just no getting there on your own.
Yeah, it does feel like there's like the moment has shifted towards something, some kind of stasis, or we mix things up, and the power of people who were doing good before social media were doing good on social media, and there was a moment of mixing things up at the edges, but we're back towards maybe more of a consumer internet, where people I think are maybe a little bit more like television and less like everyone's gonna have a blog. Like, well,
that was the phase, though.
Yeah,
that was the phase. Everyone had a blog, and then a few of the bloggers got hired by, like, the Times and the Post, and then blogs died.
Yeah. Or like the idea of Twitter, like everybody can be a public personality.
Yeah.
And it turns out, like, with all the shit that you get by speaking in public, like, 10, 15% of people want to be a public personality or are able to be. And, like, like Twitter's trying to deal with, like, oh, no, we only have 15% of the entire country, which should be, that should be great. But it's been evaluated and invested as if it's going to be something like Facebook, and so it does seem like that moment where like we're all going to speak in public and the news is going to be written by all of us, and that moment seems to have.
A lot of the things that appear to be organically viral online are actually
Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, yes, lies. Again, the lies. But no, there's like a ring. There are rings of these like ultra powerful kids, like seriously kids in high school who are like, hey, let's make this thing go viral. Like I haven't researched the damn.
Is this
Daniel
one of your
Shoes
fake
thing.
conspiracy? There's rings of powerful kids.
Yes, they have secret Facebook groups. Oh my, no, it's crazy. They are highly, highly organized. They have secret Facebook groups where they collude to like trade clicks and promote each other, and they'll be like, I talked to this one who like had a post that they just decided would go viral, and then they're like going crazy, like, look at it, it's got 1 million notes now. Like, it's just a game, but it's not based on, it's not a meritocracy.
Yeah, and that game is similar to what the publishing industry is doing, and that we're, I think, kind of dealing with is, so Facebook says, we're going to order our algorithm based on clicks.
Yeah.
So everybody doesn't spend their time making the best content. They make content that'll get the most clicks. Like, that's the classic thing. When you measure something, the measurement becomes not just a measure or the means, it becomes the ends.
Yeah.
And so you have something like, let's say, Upworthy. Sorry if somebody likes Upworthy, but Upworthy was created to get the most number of likes, but oftentimes you click on it and you felt disappointed because it didn't live up to the thing that you clicked on, because it was engineered to get the click. Once you're there, well, the content was coincidental to its circulation. It just needed the click. It needed the share. What was actually on the page didn't even matter. And so they basically, if clicks are the currency, then Upworthy was just printing counterfeit currency, right? And so just like, well, if you can print counterfeit currency and get away with it, well, then your currency is now worthless. Right, so you need some organization to stop people from counterfeiting, or else the currency is worthless. So Facebook basically just turned off Upworthy. They just changed their algorithm, and Upworthy went from being this company that was going to take over the world, the future of publishing, to now who talks about Upworthy? Just because Facebook they're in this game, they're playing whack-a-mole. Everyone is trying to game Facebook to get as many clicks as possible, and Facebook knows that it's being gamed, and they're trying to turn it off. And I just wonder if clicks are just not is that a currency long for this world?
I don't think so, because the kids I talk to, and these kids who are nobodies, and they're like not even cute, like they don't post pictures of their faces, like they're not like sexy, right? They did it all with content. It's all one-liners, right? The way they they were adamant that you cannot sacrifice the integrity of your content to promote your personal brand. Like, which is really completely backwards from like what's drilled in my head every day at a magazine. Like they really believe that over time that if you sacrifice your content, then you're going to lose your audience.
And that's consistent with Reddit and 4chan and 8chan, where if you look like you're trying to gain any celebrity, and of course those are anonymous networks too, it's sort of anti-celebrity. That's kind of built into the, maybe in this moment of self-branding where everybody's supposed to be self-branded and go for likes, that there's naturally going to be kind of a kickback to that. There's also a culture that sort of
a backlash.
Yeah, disrespects this status chasing,
Authenticity.
Yeah, so I'll be authentic again.
Yeah, the new authenticity.
For the first time. Cool. Should we introduce some
let's do some audience Q&A. Anybody has a question, just raise your hands in the back. We've got 2 microphones moving around.